Namaskar all of you. Without any formality, we proceed to the program today. I proceed to the second session. Thank you. Namaskar once again. Today we are supposed to commence from the Pranamaya Kosha. Little enunciation to that. All of us have read Guruji's Light on Pranayam. There are many who read it amongst the students. I am speaking with reference to students. Some of them read the book to practice. So by reading the book, they understood there are pranayamas like Ujjayi, Viloma, Aduloma, Pratiloma, Surya Bedan, Chandra Bedan, Ujjayi, Shitali, Shitakari, Brahmari, Kumbhak Pranayam, etc. So in order to practice the pranayam, the book was read. There were few who read the book to be teaching pranayam, to teach Ujjayi, Aduloma, Pratiloma, Viloma, Surya Bedan, Chandra Bedan, Nadi Shodhan, Brahmari, Shitali, Shitakari, Bhastrika. So teach pranayam. Some of them read. I wonder how many of you got stuck at the very definition. Nobody bothered about it. Guruji defined prana. And I, being little eccentric, whimsical, strange student of yoga, I got stuck there. Guruji has defined prana, Vishwa Caitanya Shakti. And nobody bothered about it. Were you stuck at it? At very definition, nobody was stuck. But everybody assimilated the whole book. Now Guruji defined it, but for some reason there is no delineation on the definition. Now there are three terms there. Vishwa. It means universal. Now what is universal? Someone like me is bothered about only location. You know that I don't stir out of the place. I am so location minded. Some of you are national teachers, some of you are international teachers, some of you are intercontinental teachers. And still there is no scope to become interplanetary teacher. In case that happens, there will be some of us interplanetary teachers of yoga. But as all of you are aware, I am very, very localized. I am not even a local teacher, I am a localized teacher. Now, if I am so localized, and if someone is so very local, someone is maybe national, someone international, someone global. In our practices, we are very, very personal. I don't think there is any one of us practicing pranayam for someone else. You know, today we have got a pranic healing system. Somebody sits here and somebody is healed 10,000 miles away by just waving the hand here. They call it as pranic healing process. So when we are so personalized in our pranayamic endeavor, there is any trace of universality. What is universal there? So well, I was greatly stuck at that very definition of prana, something universal, and I said, I do not know what universe is. I am not concerned with the universe. I bother about myself only. I am so selfish, most of you know it. Then I said, where is the question of this universal aspect in that prana? The second one, cosmic. At the most we know what are cosmetics. I don't know what is this cosmic in pranayam. And then energy. Now somebody after the talk yesterday had a point of rebuke. And I said about energy. See, there are There are various definitions of energy in different sciences. The concept of biological energy is the one which, with the medical pragmatism, medicos deal with. That's called biological energy form. Then I yesterday referred to physics. There is a concept of energy in physics. And there is third definition that comes in tantras, comes in mysticism. Now, when Guruji used that definition, the word Vaishvik Chaitanya Shakti, the Shakti is not biological energy form. The Shakti is not physics energy form. It is of the mysticism. So for the concept universal, we need to be students not of universities but universalities. Do you follow? To know the concept universal, it won't suffice to be students of a university. We should be students of universality. So that concept cannot be understood in our academic pursuits of physical sciences, social sciences, moral sciences, normative sciences, etc., etc. Nor will we arrive through any mathematical sciences. The concept universal is a concept that has to be traced in philosophical texts. The cosmic, the word cosmic. The word cosmic has nothing to do with cosmos. Again, that's a term of metaphysics and philosophy. So unless we are students of philosophy and metaphysics, we will not be able to understand what is universal and then what is cosmic. And then energy. To understand the concept energy, we have to know the concept Shakti. There is no word to Shakti in English in the sense it has been used in the definition. But since the book was to be in English, it has been rendered as universal cosmic energy. Now that is Shakti. And the concept Shakti is totally, wholly tantric. So if we have to understand the pran through its definition, we need to be students of philosophy, religion, mysticism. Now where do you trace all that? You will trace in the science of yoga itself. If you are students of yoga, you will get to know all that. Basically, we need to be students of yoga. Once we are students of yoga, we will be students of philosophy, religion, mysticism, metaphysics, and all those subjects which are beyond physics. Point is, the texts of yoga have defined, described, delineated upon it as to what is prana, in the sense what is universal, why universal, and what is cosmic, why cosmic, and then what is Shakti and why Shakti. Now, as I said yesterday towards giving concluding remarks, that the celestial deities have to reside into us in this embodiment, and that is why we are human beings. We are not human beings just because we have got a mindset and a body set. The body plus mind doesn't make us totally. It's a tip of the iceberg. Do you follow? The empirical mind, personal mind, psychological mind, plus this physical body of skin, flesh, muscles, tissues, fibers, organs, both put together doesn't totally spell out this embodiment. Because we have been there before this body came into existence. We had our mind before this body came into existence. Perhaps I was not Prashant in last life, and you are not what you are today in your last life. We could be anything, being human species to being subhuman species to being superhuman species. We could have been anything, but we had earlier a mind, and we are going to be existing even after our death. Although this name will change, form will change, I won't continue to remain Prashant in next life. I won't have the same mindset next life. My mindset will change, my dispositions will change, my culture will change. I will be different in manifestation, physical as well as psychomental. Therefore, the present body, present mind doesn't give a complete equation of ourselves. We are much more beyond that. This is not even a tip of the iceberg. Now, why do the celestial deities have to get into us? Don't they find place elsewhere? They have their celestial worlds, they have heavens. Why do they leave their heavens and come here? In this filthy embodiment, well, if we have to exist, we need all of them. They come here for ourselves. As some of you come to India for your holidays, for your some personal benefits, something is available in India cheaply. Therefore, some people travel to India and spend 2 months at lesser cost. Staying in your country for 2 months would cost more. Staying in India for 2 months would cost less. Certain things would cost less in India, although Indians say the prices are soaring in India. But for continental people, India is very cheap country, so therefore many of them come here for various reasons. Or to spend holidays. The celestial deities, it is not a holiday resort for them to come here. They are coming for ourselves. We are obliged. Now, as it strikes to my mind here, in vernacular, these senses, English word senses is senseless. It is senseless to call these senses senses. We have a beautiful connotation for that. We call it Indriyas. The word Indriyas come from word Indra. Indra is the king of deities, king of gods. Indra. Now, those who have little knowledge of Indian pantheon, the Hindu pantheon, you will know, you might have heard the word Indriya, Indra. And from Indra, the word Indriyas come. All the deities are under the governorship of Indra. Therefore, he is called Devendra, he is called king of gods. All the other gods are under him. So, if the Indra opts to come into our body, they have to follow him. Therefore, the 5 senses, conative, cognitive, 10 senses, they are all called Indriyas. The internal organs are called Antarendriyas. So they are all Indriyas. And the word Indriya comes from Indra. Now in English it is called senses. And all our senselessness comes from those senses. Why should we call them senses? All nonsense comes from sense. Why should they be called senses? So that's a wrong usage. Anyway, I am not an influential person, but maybe posthumously the English world will realize and make these amendments in their language. Now, why the celestial deities are entering our body? Now, the answer from the perspective of mysticism. The divinity is residing in us. The divinity has to be there in every single manifestation, and within us it is called Antaryami, internal ruler. Ishvara sarva bhutanam vruddeshe Arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudhani mayaya tameva sharanam gacchatat sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat parashanti sthanam prapsyasi shashvata. Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, verse 60-61. Ishvara sarva bhutanam vruddeshe Arjuna tishtati. Arjuna, the Ishvara resides in our heart. Vruddeshe, in the heart region. Why for? Brahmayan sarva bhutani yantrarudhani mayaya. Moving all the beings as if mounted on a machine of time and space and conditions and situations. We are mounted on the time machine. And we are moving on the time machine. We are moving on the machine of fate. machine of nature. We are all mounting on the cycle of nature. The cycle of day and night and seasons and whatever, we are all mounted on that machine. And it is moving us. The nature is moving us. The fate is moving us. There are so many things which are moving us. And then, tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata tat prasadat parashanti sthanam prapsyasi shashvata. Krishna says, tameva sharanam gaccha. Arjuna, surrender unto that divinity within you, immanent divinity within you. Sarva bhavena, totally surrender unto that divinity. Then what will you attain? Tat prasadat parashanti. As a grace of that, as a grace of your surrender, you will be, there will be a bounty on you which will shower you eternal peace, eternal tranquility, shashvata shanti. So this Ishvara is residing within us. Now if this Ishvara is going to reside within us, so many things have to come in. A simple example. The President of America comes to India. He is the headline of the newspaper. But he comes with a chartered plane. He has his own plane, President of United States. And then his flight brings 250 people. The newspaper doesn't mention that his personal barber has accompanied him, personal beautician has accompanied him, personal foreign secretary, secretary for state, secretary for finance. From there, from the administrative secretaries, he brings his personal barber, personal beautician, personal physician, personal servants, personal assistants. That doesn't come in the newspaper. Newspaper doesn't say that personal barber of President of America has accompanied him. He doesn't come all alone. He doesn't come all alone. One plane load of people come with him. Now when he comes to visit a place, then his Indian chamchas, Indian sycophants also accompany him. The prime ministers and chief ministers and whatever governors and so many people accompany him. Wherever he goes, he doesn't go alone. There are so many people to accompany him. This is the condition in our life of human beings. Now this universal deity is going to manifest. And unfortunately, there is no plain load of things coming into us. They just come with him. 24 cosmic principles come in. When the Lord manifests naturally, the 24 cosmic principles have to come. The 24 principles of Sankhya, needless to name them. And along with that, so many all the deities come. And that is why the deities, according to mysticism, have to accompany divinity. Now this comes, if those who are well versed with Avatar Rahasya, the manifestation of God in different avatars, Krishna avatar, Rama avatar, etc. The Krishna avatar has been beautifully described in Krishna Rahasya. Krishna, when he decided to manifest, to incarnate here in the Vaikuntha Loka, in his abode, all his Nitya Suris were sorrowed. They said, oh, you will be going away for a long time. We will be missing you. And we can't withstand this. We need to come with you. So along with Krishna, all those noble principles accompanied him. In the mortals, we think that Krishna had 16,108 wives. It's not wives. 16,708 Vedic hyms manifested here with him. So there are that many, 16,108 Vedic rutas, the Vedic hyms. They manifested, and the common man thinks that he had so many women. So various deities appeared, Balram appeared, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, everything, they are all deities. They all appeared with him. Shankara is the supreme devotee of Krishna according to Bhagavata. Shankara is the supreme deity. And he said, Krishna, when you are going to manifest incarnate, I want to have the love out of you in profundity. What will you offer for me? What is your offering? Shiva manifests as flute of Krishna. He says that you will be always having my kiss. You will be at my lips. And Shiva manifests as his flute. The flute is not made up of bamboo, like you get in any musical instrument shop. Krishna's bansuri was Shiva. Shiva manifested, Shankara manifested and became the basuri, and all the time sucked what is called adoshtharasa. Always got stuck to the lips of Krishna. Anyway, that's the avatar rahasya. Now the God manifests in the universe in different forms. In Pancharatra, it is mentioned Para, Vyuha, Vibhava, Archa, Antaryami. There are 5 forms of divinities. And Antaryami is one of those. The God has to manifest. God manifests in all the beings as an internal ruler, internal Antaryami. Antarniyamaka, internal ruler. And as the God manifests as an internal ruler, the entire celestial world has to accompany. And that is why all the gods follow him. They follow him because they want to be with him. They come into us because we need them. So both the purposes of both the classes of people are served. That celestial people, their purpose is served because they can be with the Antaryami, they can be with the divinity. And our purpose is served because without the celestial forces, we can't function. We can't see, hear, think, eat, etc., etc., etc. And that is why celestial beings have to manifest. Celestial beings have to manifest with their atmosphere, and the manifestation is Pranamaya Kosha. If we live on oxygen, they live on prana. So the gods exist by prana and we exist by gods. So that's how the Pranamaya Kosha is in within us. So if we have to understand this prana, we have to understand Pranamaya Kosha. Now how this Pranamaya Kosha is constituted? The whole body scan will not reveal it. It is esoteric physiology. As you are aware, there are Shat Chakras. Mooladhara, Swadesthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agnya. Mooladhara, basic support. Moolam, basic. Adharam, support. Mooladhara. Now when is the structure steady and firm? When it has 4 legs. A table, for instance, table. The table is stable, steadier, because it has 4 legs. So also when dharma is on 4 legs during Satya Yuga, the dharma is sturdy. Now today the dharma is on 1 leg, that's why it is limping. In Kali Yuga, the dharma is on 1 leg. In Dwapar Yuga, the dharma is on 2 legs. In Treta Yuga, the dharma is on 3 legs. In Satya Yuga, the dharma is on 4 legs. It is very steady, sturdy. Now it is very feeble. That is why we have so much of misery. The point is, Mooladhara 4, and therefore it has 4 petals. Mooladhara has 4 petals. Then comes, and that is Mooladhara. All our biological tendencies have roots there. If you listen to the chakra cassettes, if you read about information about chakra, you will know that our biological tendencies, the source tendencies, are all having locus in Mooladhara chakra. That's why it is called Mooladhara. The second is Swadesthana. Swadesthana, Swa Adesthana. Swa, our personality. Our personality has the source, has the root in Swadesthana. Therefore the nomenclature. Swadesthana. Adhisthana is the substrate, support. Support for our swa. Support for our swabhava. The support for our I-ness, the mindness. That is why it is called Swadesthana. Now there is a mathematics in the number of petals for the chakras. The Mooladhara has 4, plus 2 becomes 6. So therefore Swadhisthana has 6. The next is Manipuraka. The Manipuraka takes another 4. So 6 plus 4 becomes 10. The next one has plus 2. So that becomes the Anahata. And 12 petals. Vishuddhi has plus 4, 16. So 4, 6, 10, 12, 16, 2, Agnya. So there is a mathematical progression that you can understand. It adds by 2 or adds by 4. And therefore the Agnya Chakra has 2. So 4 plus 6 plus 10 plus 12 plus 16 plus 2 is 50. There are totally 50 petals. Each of the chakras, if you look into the tantric description in yogic text, there will be deities, devatas, and there will be Shakti. Dakini, Shakini, Yakini, etc. The names are there. Shakti manifests in different forms in different chakras. So there is Devata and there is Shakti for each of the chakras. Now there are 50 petals. Now if you try to understand these petals, what do you see there? There we will understand how is this the celestial atmosphere made up of. Our atmosphere is made up of oxygen and company. 22%, 20% oxygen, 72% nitrogen and ozone, etc., etc., total 100%. So we know what is our terrestrial atmosphere. The celestial atmosphere is made up of sound forms. Celestial atmosphere is made up of sound forms. Therefore the gods are worshipped by Shabda. The gods are worshipped by sound forms, which are in mantra form. Their food is Shabda. So all the deities are worshipped and prayed with sound forms. And that is their food. Our thinking is all sound forms. Therefore, while we are thinking, there will be a ventilation to gods taking place. We will be constantly thinking. And our thoughts are ultimately reduced to sound forms. And therefore constant ventilation is going on because of the thoughts. We are constantly thinking machines. Our thought process doesn't stop. Even if you are not awakeful, we will be thinking in dreams. So the chakras are made up of sound forms. What are the sound forms? For chakras, we start understanding from Mooladhara. Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agnya. This is how it comes from bottom towards the top. Now to understand their constitution of letters, we have to start from Vishuddhi. Because all oration is here. Vocal cords are in the throat region. And any articulation, any vocalization, oration takes place with vowels. Without vowels, there is no oration. Now we know how much this is connected to oration. The Vishuddhi region, how much it is connected to oration. Therefore, all the petals are of the sound form of, in the form of all vowels. Now I will give you a word, can you utter it? C-K-H-T-M-N. C-K-H-T-M-N. Can you utter the word? You can't utter the word. Why? For simple reason that there are no vowels. So without vowels there is no oration. And understand the rationale here. That's why the Vishuddhi Chakra is studded with all vowels. All thoughts are words, and words have vowels. Therefore, the 16 petals of Vishuddhi Chakra are A, A, I, U, U, Ru, Ru, Lu, Lu, A, I, O, Au, Aha. 16. That is how Vishuddhi Chakra is constituted. Then our vernacular, in our Swara Varnas, after vowels, what comes is the consonants. So next chakra is, the lower to that, is Anahata Chakra. Anahata Chakra has 12 petals. What are those petals? Starting from Ka. Ka, Kha, Ga, Ga, Nga, Sa, Tha, Za, Za, Na, Ta, Tha. These are 12. So these 12 are the petals of second chakra from Vishuddhi, that is Anahata Chakra. And then next comes the 10. So next 10 letters are of Anahata Chakra. Da, 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 ta, da, da, na, pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. So 10 letters come there. And then next 6 letters come to Swadesthana. And then the next 4 letters come to Mooladhara. And last 2 letters come to Agnya. So that is how from Akaradik Shakaranta. I, I, U, Ru, Ru, Lu, Lu, A, I, O, Maha, Ka, Kha, Ga, Ga, Nga, Ta, Sa, Za, Za, Na, Ta, Ta, Da, Da, Na, Ta, Ta, Da, Da, Na, Pa, Pa, Ba, Ba, Ma, Ya, Ra, La, Va, Sha, Sa, Haksha. Now these are the letters. The Haksha is of Agnya Chakra. So all these petals are studied, are of the nature of sound forms. So the Pranamaya Kosha is completely made up of sound forms. Now these sound forms are universal because all the languages come from these sound forms. No language can deduct the sound forms and formulate a language. These sound forms which I have now uttered, deducting all these sound forms, try to formulate a language. You can never do it. So the Pranamaya Kosha is constituted by all sound forms. And the deities, that is their atmosphere. Now a little bit of metaphysics here, the physics here. Astrophysics. Or even the metaphysics says the space is the first principle. Now all of you have experienced that the air in India is different than air somewhere else. That's why you say here hot weather, there cold weather. We have tropical region, subtropical, tropical region and polar region, freezing region, polar regions. So the air is different. The water is different. Between Pune and Mumbai, water is different. The water changes, the air changes. But the space is universal. Not only it is terrestrial, all over the globe the same, it is all over the universe the same. The space is all over the same. Just as we say Indian weather and American weather and continental weather and subcontinental weather, it's all different. Coastal weather. But this space is unified everywhere, identical anywhere, it doesn't change. Now this space has come from sound. The space has come from sound according to metaphysics, and so also according to astrophysics. They say there was first Big Bang and then came space. What is bang? Astrophysics says that there was first the Big Bang and then came the space and then came the nebula, and from nebulas the stars were born, and then had the stellar system and planetary system coming up. So what is their process? First the Big Bang, then the space, then the nebula. Nebula is cloud-like thing. If you have looked into astrophysics, what is nebula? Nebula is cloud-like thing, and from there, like sparks come from fire. The sparks come from nebula, and those are stars. The stars ooze out from the nebulas, and Those are stars, huge bodies. And then from the stars, then we have the planetary systems. So, before the space came the sound. Sound is primordial matter. The sound is primordial matter. Therefore we say Adyanada. Om is Adyanada. Om is hypostatization of all forms and sounds. I will not go to an explanation of it. It is hypostatization ark. ज्याला अर्क म्हणतात. सगळ्या सृष्टीचा अर्क हा ओंकार आहे. So those who don't understand the English word hypostatization, arka is the word. Om is the Adyanada. From Om came everything. Om came the space. Akashat Vayor, Vayor Agne, Agne Adhyam, Adhyam Prithvim, Taittiriya Upanishad. That's how this manifestation came. Now the space comes from sound, and that sound is the prana of gods. And that is why their celestial abode within us is totally, completely of the sound forms. That is how the Pranamaya Kosha is constituted. And then there are deities and there are Shakti. Now for Shakti there is no English word. Dakini, Yakini, Shakini, etc. The words are there in Tantras. If you look into the description of that, you will get to know that. Now this Shakti manifests in us. The Shakti is called Universal Mother. Ya Devi Sarva Bhuteshu Matra Rupena Samsita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Those have heard the Saptashati, Durga Saptashati. She is Universal Mother. The Universal Mother must be within us. Not only she is within us, she is cause for every manifestation within us. Ya Devi Kshudhad Rupena, Trishna Rupena, Vidya Rupena, Nidra Rupena. It's all the same Devi. So all these powers manifest, they are manifestations of Shakti. All the celestial beings are manifestation of Shakti. They are part and particles of Shakti. That is why she is called Universal Mother. And that is how the Shakti is. So somewhere we need to have a deep inquiry into the concept Shakti. Now don't expect me to be going into that. With you people so very busy, you cannot be giving more than 2 hours, and you can't expect me to be telling you everything in that one stroke. But somewhere get to know that you need to have some inquiry into it. The concept of Shakti. Now what is cosmic? Which you will read in the philosophical texts. The philosophy, religion, the yoga. The texts of yoga will tell you. If you are students of yoga, you will get to know what is universal, what is cosmic, what is Shakti. Now that is how Pranamaya Kosha has been made up. Now as I initially said that most of the students have read light on pranayam for different purposes, and I told you why I read it and how I got stuck and where did I proceed. Yesterday, just as I said, I have a cut in the finger and the blood goes out. What is it for everyone? You and me, it's just blood. Even for a pathologist, it is just blood. But if there is a pathologist here, he would like to know my blood, and he would like to take it to lab and have it tested to know whether there is any cholesterol, any sugar, and this and that. RBC, the WBC and the RBC, how much is it? And he takes it to the lab, and then he comes with different revelations. Until that time, even for pathologists, it's merely a drop of blood, or maybe he has taken 50 cc, 100 cc of blood. It is just blood, and as long as it is in the bottle. So what it means to you, and what it means to me, or what it means to anyone else, and what it means to pathologists, there is no difference. But the moment the blood is taken out in a laboratory and then taken through different tests, then he comes with a long report. From hemogram to any HIV positive or whatever. Similarly, the moment I read that definition, I had to go to pathologist within me. I had to go to laboratory and try to find out what is cosmic, what is universal, what is Shakti. For common man, for a student, what is it? It is inhalation, it is exhalation. At the most, perhaps, conditioned inhalation, conditioned exhalation. Or perhaps deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Or perhaps slow inhalation and slow exhalation. Or perhaps with certain biodynamics, physiodynamics, inhale like this, exhale like this, that is pranayamic. Inhale this much, exhale that much, that is pranayam. But then I got stuck there. I said, I need to take this blood to lab. Now, if the blood falls here, you won't bother to take it to lab. But a pathologist might bother to take it to a lab and take it through the tests and then come out with a long report. And that's how my sense of inquiry was directed. I got a impellment, propelment. I got stuck at the definition. Most of it did not get stuck at it. You proceeded further. Anyway, so that's little bit about Pranamaya Kosha. That we are graced by celestial forces. Now, as I said yesterday, there are 33 crores of gods, as we Hindus in our pantheon believe that there are Deities koti devata, 33 crores of gods. Many of the Westerners, non-Indians have thought, why jungle of gods in India? Why can't we do with one god? Why should there be jungle of gods? But nobody questions a super shoppy. Why there is a super shoppy? Why there should be varieties of one single item, 101 varieties of rice. After all, we require rice. Why not have one rice? Why there are countless varieties from that rice which is not for human, meant for human beings, the Burmese rice, which even perhaps elephant cannot digest. Why there are so many varieties of rice from Burmese to Basmati? Countless varieties. Nobody questions that. Cuisines, countless cuisines, continental, Chinese, Mexican, American, Indian, South Indian, Punjabi, Bengali. Nobody questions. There is no complication. But the question comes, why so many gods? Why not have one god? Can we make a rule that everyone should be wearing a t-shirt and shorts for all purposes, in all conditions? Well, you will prefer to come with t-shirt and shorts if you are coming for a session here. If I say all the time, 24 hours, it should be t-shirt and shorts and everywhere, anywhere, all the time, it won't do. We have different clothes, sets of casual clothes. Casual when there are no guests at home. There are different casuals when the guests are at home. Casuals when a guest like me at home. Casuals when somebody VIP at home. You won't bother if I come to your house as guest, but the moment if Guruji decides to come to your house as guest, the even casuals will change. And the formals. Formals again. What sort of formal? Where are you going? Whose wedding? Who all will be coming there? What is my status there? And that decides which formal to wear. There are countless sets of formals, countless sets of casuals. That we don't bother. There is no complication for us. The wardrobe doesn't complicate us. There are so many pairs of shoes in the wardrobes. Nobody bothers about it. After all, we require, it's a footwear. But then there are different footwears for different purposes and different matchings. That is no complication. You see, the God has to manifest in several forms. Several gods are there because different people have different appeals. There are Rajasic, Tamasic, Sattvic people. There are people with different dispositions, materialistic to highly spiritual. The God should be available to everyone. The God universal principle doesn't say that only I will be available to those who are spiritually evolved and I am not available to those who are mundane and very materialistic and highly materialistic. The God is available to everyone. See, within ourselves, now myself, my likes and dislikes have been changing, have changed ever since my birth. When I was a child, I looked for something else. Today, I don't look for those things. My likes and dislikes have changed. When I was a child, I was going after chocolates and cookies. It was infatuating to me. Then as our stage in life changes, when we become teenagers, something else fascinates us. When we become young, something else fascinates us. Then when adulthood, something else fascinates us. When we are old, decrepit, what fascinates is that a pair of glasses and a stick to lean on. And a place to sit somewhere. Anywhere we go, we see that we have a place to sit, a comfortable sitting. We won't like to sit on the floor. We would like to have an easy chair or high pedestal chair or something where we can just slightly kneel and get to the seat. So our likes and dislikes have been changing. People are of different disposition, different culture, different mindsets. The God should be available. So it's a huge super shopping that had to be opened out for every single person, poor to richest, the destitute to emperors, materialistic, stark materialistic to highly spiritualistic. Naturally, God had to manifest in different ways and different forms. Like one God like Krishna, there are some people like to have him as Balakrishna, some people as Gopalakrishna, some people as Muralidhara, somebody as Yogeshwara Krishna, charioteer. The Krishna is liked by different devotees in different forms. Tulsidasa did not visit the temple at Dwarka. Why? Hanuman refused to see Krishna. Why? Unless, he said, unless I have the manifestation the way I like, there will be no interview. So Krishna had to appear in the form of Rama. Krishna and Rukmini appear as Rama and Sita, and then there is an interview with Hanuman. So it's all mysticism. You should be students of mysticism to get answers to all these questions. Basically, imagine if our super shoppings are so huge, shopping malls today, day by day their dimensions are growing. So if this has to be universal super shopping, imagine what the shop has to cater, what divinity has to cater, and that's why the God has manifested in so many forms. Anyway, to proceed further from there. So, all the celestial deities are there to serve the God, and we are there to get served by the gods, and that is why the Pranamaya Kosha is within us. Now this Pranamaya Kosha is made up of sound forms. Now some of the veteran teachers raised their eyebrows when I started teaching some sound forms. Now if you take Guruji's book under microscope, it has the sound forms. Because Guruji has used the word Shakti. Now Shakti manifests, if you know, in 51 Shakti Pithas. The Hindus should be knowing it, that there are 51 Shakti Pithas. Why 51? There are 51 letters. And each of the Shakti Pitha has a letter. Each of the letter is manifestation of Shakti's powers. Now you will buy the Yoga Rasya today, and in Yoga Rasya there is an article of mine. I have introduced you an Upanishad called Akshamalika Upanishad. There is a beautiful Upanishad called Akshamalika Upanishad. Akshamalika, garland of Aksha. What is Aksha? To Ksha. Akaradik Shakaranta. Every letter has been explained, its manifestation, its powers. I, E, E, U. Each letter, how does it manifest its Shakti form? Like I said, blood. From here taken to lab. A 50 cc bottle, blood. It is taken to lab, it reveals so many things. From RBC, WBC to cancer or HIV positive, whatever. Everything it will reveal. what the blood should be revealing. So Guruji's definition, if it is put in the microscopic microscopic text, universal, cosmic, energy, that energy is sound form. It is not my innovation, it is not my creation, but that is how the Pranamaya Kosha is made up of. That is not my fault. That is how it has been made up of. Akaradik, shakaranta, swara varnas are there. And that's a universal language. The way A will work in me, the way A will work in any of you and all of you will be identical. That's not the matter with a language. Because the word that means to be in my language and the same word to you in your language might mean something else. There might be a word which is in different languages, and in different languages it will have different meanings. So that word will mean differently for people of different languages. Like good. Now what is good in English? It doesn't mean that good should mean the same thing in other languages. Now good is good for English people. The good is good for English people. Probably it is an abuse in some other language. Do you follow? If you hear something good from someone, you are happy. But it is possible that the word good could be abused in any other language. Now that person, when he uses the word good, he would get infuriated. And then you would be smacked on your face. But all these letters, they work identically. So that is how the Pranamaya Kosha is made up of. It is made up of sound forms. Sound forms create the words. Words create thoughts. Ultimately, all our thoughts can be reduced to a single lettered sound. Like in algebra, a number can be reduced to a letter. So, in celestial algebra, the moment we have a thought pattern, the thought pattern would be reduced to a sound form. And our thought pattern is not merely prosaic thought. Behind the thoughts, there are feelings. Understand this also. The thoughts always have feeling. Feeling always have an expression. And expression again reduced to words. Therefore, artha bhava put together are reduced to a sound form. And that's how that sound form is a nourishment to deities. Now somewhere we need to have a sense of inquiry into Pranamaya Kosha. How is it made up of? How is it constituted? Why for it is there? Now this will be answered by the Tantras. The mysticism describe this as to what is Pranamaya Kosha. For us, what is Pranamaya Kosha? Theoretically, Pancha Pranas, Prana, Apan, Vyan, Udan, Saman, at the most Shat Chakras. But what are Shat Chakras? Now if you look into yogic texts, now these petals of the lotuses are on all four directions. Like a flower. The flower has petals on all four directions. Similarly, these petals are on all four directions. Now there is a reference to the directions of petals and corresponding emotionality. Like we have kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsar, countless emotions are there, bhavanas are there. They are countless. Bhavanas are countless. Now there are different bhavanas which are allocated to a direction. Now that petal will work for the petal of that direction will account for a particular feeling in our thoughts. Now that's a very interesting study. Shiva Swarodaya has divulged this. That what are the petals for in northeast, east, southeast, south, west, southwest, then the northwest, etc., etc., all the 8 directions. Southeast, northwest, and then we have the 4 directions in between. Southeast, northeast, southwest, northwest, and etc., etc. That all those 8 directions, it will tell you Agneya petal, Vayavya petal, Ishanya petal. Agneya, Vayavya, Ishanya, Nairutya, then Purva, Paschim, Dakshin, Uttar. Each direction is responsible for a particular feeling. So the sound form and the direction, they have a connection. Our thoughts are not merely worldly thoughts, there are feelings. Feelings are expressions. Expressions are again, they can be reduced to sound forms. We cannot express our expressions completely. We fail as mortals. But there are some literators, poets, they can make their expressions conveyed, transmitted. They have exalted grip over language. They can speak. Otherwise, what is our plight? As I said many times in the class, we can't speak what we mean, and what our speech means is not what we mean. We cannot mean what we speak, and what we speak is not necessarily what we mean. Therefore, we say, confess, oh, I'm sorry, you misunderstood. I didn't mean this. We often have to say this, sorry, I didn't mean this. 10 people heard me, and 10 people say, you said like this, I have to apologize. No, sorry, I did not mean this. It's not one person, 10 persons. We have that limitation. We can't speak what we want to speak, what we mean. There are very few blessed people who can speak what they feel. They can transmit their feelings, but this is not possible for commoners, we commoners. The point is that our feelings are language. In our case, we can't express the language. Therefore, we say, I can't express my feeling. And that's our expression. But if it is Kalidas, if it is Wordsworth, if it is Shakespeare, they can put it in words effectively. Now this is the province of literators, this is the province of poets, and that's why they are called poets. They can express what they feel. Anyway, this is how the Pranamaya Kosha is made up of. Now look, what is in this Pranamaya Kosha? There are 6 devatas and 6 shaktis. Universal mother in 6 forms. Then there are these deities. Now they are all residing in this. Now we come to a major standpoint which is very important in philosophy. In material plane of life we say, this is me, I am Prashant. Prashant S. Iyengar, son of so and so, born of such and such family. Kulotpanna, Varnotpanna, etc., etc. This is my caste, creed, etc. This is my family, this is my lineage. And this is how I make myself felt. Now this me, this I, is one of the inhabitant of this embodiment, which is housing Ishvara, down to all the deities, the 33 gods. And because of them I am working, and yet I claim in business of life, I am Prashant. If I can do, it is done. No one else can do. This is how human mind is. Many times we declare, it's only I can do. No one else can do. Who is this I? This embodiment is I. Now we are one of the refugees in this camp, and understand how insignificant, where the divinity is residing, the gods are residing. Imagine the divinity has departed, deities have departed. Is there anyone to say, declare I and me? Is there any mic to say that this is Prashant speaking? I am speaking. Can I speak? If all the deities depart and the divinity departs. So student of philosophy, mysticism understands, who am I in this embodiment? There is an interesting episode. Indian Prime Minister, first Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru happened to visit the mental hospital in Pune, which was very famous 50 years back. That was perhaps the biggest mental hospital in the country. And the Prime Minister happened to visit the hospital. And he comes into the hospital, he sees that patients are doing some gardening work or some such work. Something is going on. So he picks up one of them. He says, hey, I am the Prime Minister of this country. I am Jawaharlal Nehru. I have come to see you. How are you? How do you do? How is the life here? Etc. He says, shut your mouth. Don't say you are a Prime Minister. He said, why? I am a Prime Minister. What is the difficulty? He said, I was saying the same thing on the streets and I'm put in the hospital. I also go on the street and go on calling, I am Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru. And the people picked me up and then have put me in the hospital, and you will be put in the hospital. So please don't say that, for heaven's sake. This is how the things go in lunatic asylum. Everyone thinks, the person, another person there in the hospital said, this is my palace, this is huge palace, see how big it is. A huge hospital, if you have not seen, go there. You are at a mental hospital. One of the mental patients said, this is my palace. See how huge it is. So, well, we laugh out at this, the scenery in lunatic asylum, mental hospitals. The saints and wise people, they look at us. They don't laugh like we laugh at lunatics and mad people. They have compassion for us. They tell us, my dear fellow, you are tending to speak, you are tending to express yourself like a patient in mental hospital does. Get to know who you are in this embodiment. Know that you are graced to sound yourself that I am so and so. If that grace is removed, you cannot be saying that, you cannot declare that. You are under such a bounty, and that is why you are able to say what you are able to declare, you are able to proclaim, you are able to take credit for all that. But this is nothing different than that mad person in mental hospital who says, this is my palace, this is my ability, this is my attainment. You are paltry bit in this significance, in this manifestation, in this embodiment. So do not be shouting your mime, this is me, this is me, this is mine, this is I. So stop this mimeness. If you continue that, you are nothing different than a lunatic person, mad person, who thinks that the universe is his kingdom, the whole country is his kingdom, the whole region is his kingdom. You know, we show up our possession, our ownership. This is mine, this is my house, this is my family, this is mine, this is my property, this is my intelligence, this is my ability. So Pranamaya Kosha tells us, to the student of yoga, it gives a very invaluable instruction that get to know that this is a residence of glorious principles. The 24 cosmic principles are the inhabitants of this embodiment. The God and the celestial deities, they are all residing within us. And you are claiming this to be your abode, your body, your embodiment, as if it is your possession. This is my personal life. My hands and legs will do anything. This is my personal. I will speak whatever I want. It's my personal. So the Pranamaya Kosha philosophy tells us, who are you? How much are you? Now, I said that we are very insignificant. But the student of philosophy realizes we are not insignificant. We are fortunate to be a refugee. To be a refugee in this great refugee camp. Now we say this is me, this is my existence. From where did we get it? Do we know how long we are going to be the owners of this embodiment? We do not know. Next moment we might pop off. We are not here on lease. We are not. Sometimes some of the theoretical philosophers have said that this is a rented house. We are on rent here. Some people say we are given lease. We are on lease. If we are on lease, can you tell me how long? Is there a contract of lease? Is there a lease paper? There is no lease paper. There is no lease document. We are not even on rent. Because if you are on rent, you have some rights. If you are on lease, you have some rights. Now, what is the condition here? Without notice, you will be ejected. You are not given notice that your lease is going to end. No notice. How can we say that this is me? How can I say that this is my possession, this is my personal property? Is there any document, any supported document? Is there any logic? Let us not speak about it, because these things are not registered anywhere. We don't have registrars for such registrations. Maybe. One might say that there is a sub-registrar and there is registration. But is there any logic in believing that this is me, this is my ownership, this is my intelligence? Today is the copyright. Can I claim? Even what I am speaking, you might think that this is Prashant wisdom, Prashant intelligence, Prashant stupidity, whatever it might be. It's not just mine. I have got it from somewhere. Even if it is stupidity, I have got it from somewhere. It's not totally my stupidity. If it is wisdom, it's not totally my wisdom. I have got it from, I have had so many incarnations before. Today I have one father, but I had so many fathers before. Today I have one guru, I had so many gurus before. Can I disclaim them? Can I say that no, they were not my gurus? I have told you sometimes in Guru Purnima talk that it would be utter meanness to say that I have one guru and this is my guru. It is impossible. There is only one Sadguru. Sadguru is the one who performs the last rites on our mundane existence, who cremates our mundanity, performs the last rites, and the Sadguru is one. So even as I said, Guruji is not just by his hard work during the lifetime. He has had so many lives which have supported him. The lives have built him up. He is made up of several lives. It's not one lifetime attainment. We wrongly understand it, that it's one lifetime attainment. It's not true. Well, there is a heritage, ancestry. All those things contribute to us. The ancestors have contributed in his making. And he has manifested in different, see how many ancestors are there. Now for this life, there is a set of ancestors. But then we had previous lives. So imagine how much ancestral properties we have in terms of samskaras. They follow. I cannot have ancestral property from 10 parents. I can have ancestral property coming from one parent only. But the wisdom, the samskars. I had so many ancestors. This life I have a set of ancestors. Maybe I can go back to 7 generations, 8 generations, 10 generations. And I can say these are my ancestors. But then in last life I was in some other family. So I had another backing of ancestral support. So imagine how we are made up of, our samskaras. The samskaras have come from all quarters, all directions, all situations, in all eons. We need to identify them, recognize them. So, the Pranamaya Kosha divulges us a very important lesson in philosophy. Initially we might think, or literally we might think that we are insignificant. But how can we be insignificant if we are in company of all of them? If we are graced by all of them? If the grace is showered by the divinity and the gods, how can we ever call ourselves insignificant? So that is a phase of mind where we might feel that we are insignificant beings here. We are very, very, very significant. But we should not amplify our significance in this materialistic mode of saying that I am so and so, I am authority in this field, these are my attainments, I am superhuman in these aspects, nobody can come close to me in these aspects, nobody can ever match me in these aspects. The significance is not on that line. So the point is, the Pranamaya Kosha has a great store of philosophy. Now just now as I told you, that we are contributed by not only celestial beings and divinities, grace, etc., etc., that has been there in all lives, but then we have also been contributed by our ancestral back histories in all lives. Now where are they recorded? Where are the impressions? Where are they? They are in Manomaya Kosha. All that I have been so far, from time without beginning. Just try to understand what is this archives within this 6-foot body. Just try to understand what is the mode of this storage of information. And today we get wonderstruck at modern computer technology that in a small floppy or something very small you can be storing so much things. And then we get wonderstruck. What a technology. But imagine that we all have existed from time without beginning. Countless infinite lives have been so far. They have taken place. And all those impressions are stored. They are all stored in an archives of Manomaya Kosha. It's again perplexing aspect within us. That all our impressions are stored. All the impressions that we are creating today will be stored. They will be carried forward. So just try to imagine some archive within us, which is storing all the impressions. We had been in different classes of subhuman species, human species, and then in human beings we know what a range is there. From brutes to saints, from Hitlers to Gnaneshwars, from you and me to Guruji. What a distance is there between mortals like us and someone like Guruji. So even Manava Yoni, there is so much of range. And then there are subhuman species, superhuman species. We had been all there. We had been also gods perhaps in our lives. We had been celestial beings. And this embodiment is universal because it is including bhuhu, bhuvaha, suvaha, mahaha, janaha, tapaha, atala, vitala, sutala, rasatala, mahatala, patala. The 14 lokas, all the 14 lokas are within us. The entire universe is within us, and that's why we say the macrocosm in microcosm. That is how it is cosmic. What is cosmic? All the 7 infernal planes, all 7 celestial planes, they are all in this embodiment. So the beings of all the planes are in this embodiment. So it has all the atmospheres of all the planes of universe. We will not be able to go to another Milky Way in present conditions. Andromeda, which is our neighbor. The next galaxy is called Andromeda. It is our neighbor, which is some hundreds of thousands light years away from Milky Way. But that atmosphere is within us. Andromeda is within us. Why Andromeda? All the even remote galaxies are within us. Their atmosphere is within us. Because the universal deity is within us. So if the universal deity is within us, everything should be available within us. So it's not merely a body of skin, flesh, muscles, bones, tissues, liver, stomach, colon, bladder, heart, lungs, glands. There's much more than that. The whole universe is, boundless universe is within us. That is why it is universal. All the atmospheres are available within us. And that is how the Pranamaya Kosha is made up of. Well, it is now time that we have our cup of tea. And we'll proceed for our cup of tea so that we get energized to understand the other koshas. Because if you are hungry, nothing will be perceived. Annamaya, the anna, the food is so important. If you don't take the food, nothing will work. Never stop a person from doing something when the person is going for food. It won't work. It will never work. Never stop a person from taking food for any reason. The food is such a powerful thing. Everyone is defeated in front of food. So well, I cannot test your patience. Let's disperse for tea time. Have a cup of tea. Get up, come for tea.